Hey everybody, great to have you back here in the fish tank. So today we're going to do our monthly look at the Minion Masters financials. So to bring you up to speed, basically the dev, Speeder Dwarf, has said that the game will continue for as long as it can pay for itself. And they have been giving us monthly updates to show what the game is costing, what the game is making, and any profit or loss. And it has so far been profit that the game has been making. They've also said that any of the profit, it will be banked, and that can be used in the future should the game start incurring losses and not covering itself. So we're going to go through and have a look at what the latest stats are, the latest figures. There will be a link in the description for the spreadsheet if you want to check it out yourself. And of course, if you're new here and you want to follow along to all things Minion Masters related, hit that subscribe button. So let's dive into our spreadsheet. So we have the figures up to September. Now, I just started recording this and I noticed for some reason I haven't seen this before in previous months, but our monthly costs have started fluctuating, which I'm sure they didn't before. So that could be just an error on the spreadsheet, and I'm awaiting confirmation on whether that is correct or not. But I still wanted to get this data out to you, and if it is correct, then we can just correct it somewhere along the line. So what we've been seeing previously is the monthly costs are about $3,200 all in. So what we're looking at here is our costs, and then we have the income for the different platforms, so Steam, Xbox and Android. So our total income, and then our profit and our banked revenue. So let's have a look at last month's August. So for some reason this says the costs $3,922. I don't know why. But let's just go with the data we've had. Hopefully, if it is a mistake and the costs drop down, then that means that the figures are even stronger than we're seeing. But let's see. So the game made £5,500 ish on Steam, $2,500 on Xbox, $500 on Android. So a total income of $8,404. And so that meant with those costs, we made $4,482 in profit. So remember, this is for August, patch 2.19. When we looked at this last month, these figures would have been unconfirmed. I think they got a little bit better when they were confirmed, but not too much. So based on last month, we had a banked revenue of $57,000. So not too shabby, but let's have a look at this month. So 2.20. Again, the costs, not sure where this figure comes from, but so we can see the income on Steam has dropped a little bit, $4,500. Again, dropped a little bit on Xbox, $1,700, but gone up a little bit on Android. So for a total income of $6,724. And of course, taking into account the cost, that means the game made $3,000 profit for September, which takes us up to a banked revenue of $60,000, nearly $61,000. So the game is in an okay state. We're talking about having a game where they've got minimal costs because there's no developers really working on the game apart from that one monthly development sort of patch input. So whilst the game is making money, it's not making enough money to really keep someone employed on the game. So that's kind of where the game's got to. That's why development had to cease, because it just wasn't making enough money to pay somebody to do it. Right. If you looked at the last month's video regarding this, you will have noticed we did a Grok forecast. So we put the data into Grok. Grok, of course, is X's AI. And we asked them to give us a forecast on how long, based on these figures, the game will continue. So what I've done with these new figures is I've put them into Grok. We've done the forecast, and then I've asked it to compare the new forecast with the premium forecast. So we've got our stats here. So we have previous forecast, that's the last time we did it, and then our most recent forecast here. So let's have a look at these milestones. End of profitable, get that word out, period. So based on the last figures, it expected the game to continue making profit until January 2030. Now it's revised that till November 2029, so 2 months earlier. Of course, this is just a forecast. What will happen will be different in some way. So bank's profit at that point was going to be 224,000. That's down to 209,000, so 15,000 less. The amount of profit there doesn't really matter. Okay, so end of banked revenue. So remember, the idea was that whilst the game is profitable, we bank up this revenue, and then when the game becomes unprofitable, that banked revenue can be used to pay the costs while the game's not covering itself. So what this says is that the game paying for itself is going to run out in December. This is last month's forecast, December 2035. Latest stats, May 2035. So 7 months earlier based on the new updated forecast. So basically that's the key here. Based on this data, how long is Minion Masters going to carry on for? Well, assuming everything continues as it is, it'll continue until May 2035. So that's a long time. So the game is in a decent financial state. We have seen a trend where it's been dropping off financially, and we'll see if that continues. But of course, the game is still profitable. It's still making more than sort of twice as much than it needs to cover itself. So even if it continues dropping off, it's still going to be in a solid position going forward for some time. Right, that's enough of the figures. That's all I wanted to show you. So basically the stats are in, the stats are still okay, and the future is still looking decent, but of course who knows what we're going to see going forward. As I said before, if you want to stay up to date with everything Minion Masters related, hit the subscribe button if you like the video, give it a thumbs up, share it to a friend, and most importantly, go and play Minion Masters. It's free on Xbox, it's free on Steam, it's free on Android. My name's Bad as a Fish, and this, of course, is An Awkward Way.